This computer. There you go. Click that little button on your screen saying that it's okay that you're recorded. Let's go back to share. All right, there we go. So welcome to the Wednesday night CMG team call. We're very excited about the speakers that are going to be on tonight. We're going to start off with a couple of slides. Welcome to, yeah, like this says, welcome to the every Wednesday we have these calls, okay? And so just this is one of our this is a date to mark in your calendar weekly. You don't want to miss this. You want to be here in person if you can at all. Yes, can you go back and watch the replay? You can, but it's better live, even here. So just note, put it in your calendar, hit a reminder, tell your downline, definitely reach out to your team, tell them that this is happening. So then we'll go to, if you haven't gone to cmgdirect.team.com and made yourself an account, it's free to join. That is the Harvard of the CMG, which is Calvert Marketing Group, which is the name of our team for Collect Direct. This is where we have our franchise training on how to build a business in a franchise way. So if you're wondering, well, where are those scripts? How do I join MLM Helper to get all of those points that Mike's going to talk about in a minute? I want to get points like that. Well, all of those things are in your back office. All of those things are available for you to train, and it's free to have access to all of that training. I don't know a lot of things in life that are like that, but Dale doesn't believe in charging for training, for this kind of a thing. And so we have all of these things available. We're going to start off with Mike doing weekly progress winners. So if you, Mike, I'll turn it over to you for that. And if I'll stop share if you want to, do you want to use the screen, Mike? You're muted.
Yeah, sorry, I had myself muted there. I will pop in my screen real quick and we'll go through this. Let me just do this and share, and we'll open this up and we'll do a little quick. Can you guys see the slideshow?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. So, guys, one of the things that we do is we learn from our teacher Dale, and he's always said consistent effort does not produce consistent results. However, those consistent efforts do lead to success, and that's the whole point of our weekly progress report, the Collect Direct weekly progress report for our team. And what we do is we actually are able to hold ourselves accountable and keep track of our progress. And just kind of going to reiterate a little bit of what Alan talked about, the Harvard Law School of how to do this with sequential learning is cmgcollectdirectteam.com. When you go to that website, you come to the landing page. Every Wednesday, you can fill out a weekly progress report. You just click on that little button right there that says weekly progress report. It'll take you to the form, and you can record and document your efforts. And guys, this is designed so that you can hold yourself accountable and you can track your results, because what's going to happen is someday we're all going to have a ginormous team that we're building, and we're going to be teaching new people, and we're going to be able to sit down and show them what we did to get the results that we've all gotten, and lead by example. And we can show that by documenting our results and our success. So with that being said, every Wednesday by 4:30 Eastern time, the progress reports are due. And what we're going to do is we're going to celebrate the people who have participated this week. Guys, participation through the roof again. I want to congratulate you. There was more than 1 zeros on that, and that's okay. A lot of people don't fill out these reports because they don't have any points to tabulate. Guys, put the 0 in. Get in the habit of filling out the form, even if you don't have any points. I promise you, what we're going to do over the next few weeks is we're going to sequentially walk you through what it takes to get equipped to be out on the field playing. And then we can start keeping score with these progress reports. So I'm really excited for what's going to happen here tonight. Coming in at number 6 at 934 points is our fearless keynote speaker tonight, Kamala. I'm so proud of her, and I'm so excited to see what she has to cover tonight. And coming in at number 5, Gwen Nolan with 1,582 points. Coming in at number 4, David Buchanan, 1,986 points. Coming in at number 3, our host of the host with the most, Alan Knight, 2127. Coming in at number 2, Philip Cantu, 2558. Guys, have you noticed a trend? It seems to be the same core group of people here at the leaderboard. I think we've got a challenge for next week to give them all a run for their money. I want to congratulate everybody. And coming in at number 1 is the one and only Shelly Giddings with 2,618 points. Guys, that's phenomenal. And what I saw on these points is I saw a little bit of everything being done. So a little, direct outreach, handing out cards, acquiring emails. There's some purchases that are happening now. There's points coming in from all these different categories. It's really exciting, and it's starting to see a trend where the points are not just one-sided from one activity. They're starting to spread out. But pick the activities you can do, focus on that, and just keep going. But congratulations to all of you guys. Phenomenal work. Genuinely excited for you, happy for you. And we're coming for you next week. Back to you, Alan. Do I have to stop share? There we go.
Alan, you're on mute.
I was busy talking though. It was really good. Profound thoughts. This will stop screen share. Do you want to continue? I do want to continue. And I want to go back here and I want to share. All right. Meanwhile, back here, we're going to hit the next slide. Whoa, the next slide is Kamala Robinson. All right. So I want to just talk about her for a second, and she doesn't really like it when people talk about her, and I don't care. I talk about her some. You guys have heard. I called her the angel of our team, which is true. You can't dissuade me from that. But also, Kamala has been serious about building herself a passive residual income for a long time now, for a good chunk of time. And she spent several years in some of those, what we call a social club network marketing company, where she did what they said for a long time and nothing happened. And it wasn't from a lack of, many people fell from just, they never even play, right? They never even start. Dale says most people signing up is their last official act. And then they join the witness protection program. But that's not Kamala. Kamala worked that first business she was at to the best of her ability, but she worked it. Wasn't just in the bleachers watching. And yet she didn't reach what her goal was. Something changed when she got involved with the Calvert marketing group. And she's going to share a little bit about that tonight. I can't think of a better person to give this particular talk. She really does resemble. She's talking from experience. This is not a theory that she's teaching. She's teaching what she's implemented in her own life and the differences and the difference that it's made. And so I love her just because I was telling her yesterday, she's one of those people that she's count onable. You can trust that she's gonna follow through with what she said. She's gonna give it everything she's got. If she gets knocked down, she's gonna get back up. Um, and that I just love that about her. So I'm gonna turn it over to Kamala. Kamala, it's yours. And we can't wait to hear what you have to share.
Well, hey, thank you so much, Alan. For all of you that don't know a lot about me, I spent 11 years in the works and never making over $300 a month was my best month. I did, like he said, I did whatever I was told. And this picture that he's showing here was in 2017. I took a self-taught training like with Shelley or after Shelley did. And I met a gentleman that him and I were conversing over the phone, and he said, "Have you ever heard of Dale Calvert?" And it's like, no, because I was telling him my struggles. I do what they tell me to. They called me a creepy blitzer because I went out there full force. But and they always, handed us the books, but didn't really tell us the path that we really needed to go on. Anyways, I had listened to one of his podcasts, and behind me you'll see his 18-month course. I got that. He called me on the phone, told me that he was going to be in Chicago, so I borrowed my mom's car, and the way I went down. And this is the first day that changed the rest of my life. And this was in Chicago, and I'm pretty sure he thought that I was the biggest basket case he ever met. I'm pretty sure. If he was on here today, you would definitely agree. Can you go to the next slide for me? So this was this year in Florida. And if you want to just stop sharing Alan all together. I mean, okay, so as you see it behind me, in 2018, I started with a Servia with Dale, and I went to Georgia, and there again I was a basket case. I'll never forget how embarrassing I was when he asked us to pull out our top three, and it was in my purse, and I was fumbling around. I'm pretty sure he thought there was absolutely no hope for me. Well, Kamisha ended up getting an award, and he had talked about the Eagle Award in 2018, and I wanted it so bad that I had a picture since then. I mean, and here's the picture. But about 2 years ago, I wrote 2023 on it. Because of the training, Dale has a programming your mind for success, and I also took that. So what it tells you is, your goals. Write down your goals. And so I made mine a book. And this September, before I got that Eagle Award that's behind me, I had the honor and the privilege to sit next to him during conference. And I showed him my book. I had no idea I was going to get that award that night. It was that night. It was phenomenal. But he was just amazed about my book. I just did what I was told. Like programming your mind, you get into his back office, our training. Philip has some of the things that, read the books and do all of that. So I just did it. And I showed him this book. And this book has many things. Success magazine for Rupp Arena, because we're going to have millionaires on this team, and we're going to have Founders Club, and it's all in here. I have everything that's going to be happening as far as my point of view at Rupp Arena, all right here. And I read it daily. And then I have some of my affirmations. And if you look up Dale's program stuff, you'll come across the wheel of life. This tells me where I need to work on. And definitely you can tell it right there, how far we have to go. So the reason I'm showing you the book reading chart, I have this in here and it helps me a lot, my 20 reasons. And with my 20 reasons, I took a lot of pictures and put in here. But the whole point, I guess, what I would like to talk about here is this stuff is real. I looked at that eagle picture and I seen myself and I could feel it getting that, because in this book, I have it on a mantle on the house that I'm going to build. And I showed that to him too. It's right in here and it's phenomenal. I see it every day. Now that I have the Eagle Award, I see it here. So it's right on my mantle, but this stuff works. I want one of these, or I wanted one. And I put my date October 2023. Well, sometimes it doesn't always work out like you want it to, the exact month or year or whatever. But I have the opportunity, or I had my dad called me up and said, if you want, he has one just like this. If you want to buy it, you can. So now I own one of these. And yeah, it wasn't in October of 2023, but it was in December. But I visualized that. And now I get to go to the Comic-Cons. I get to go to the football games, all of the sports, anything that we have to do with Collect Direct. Guess what I'll be driving? And I won't have to get a hotel room because I have to drive hours to get anywhere I want. So this does work. And there's another one I wanted to show you that I should have marked. Here's another example. I had the Eagle Award, correct? This one right here, we had the $100,000 club. And I think he said that, what was that? Anybody, if they can remember, it was last spring, I believe it was. Well, I set my date for August of 2023 and I visualized, actually, I took this picture because I wasn't in it and I copy and pasted my picture right there. And every day I looked at it. And in July, I think it was the last Thursday in July, the 27th, he posted this on our team Zoom. I made it. So if you can take whatever you want, and it doesn't matter what it is, if it's a new car, if it's an extra $5,000 or $10,000 a month, if you look at it and you feel it like it's already been done, just like he tells us to, it can happen. And I'm extremely grateful. But these books, I made mine a book. You can make it however you want. You can put it on a poster board or whatever, but I carry mine around with me everywhere. I also have the scrolls that I read every day. And then the practice that he had set up in programming your mind. So to build my confidence, I have this. When I'm starting to feel down, I stand up and I do a power pose for 2 minutes and it helps a great deal. But it does work. And I'm very grateful for everything that Dale and this team has done for me, because I do fall down just like everybody else does. But with this team, and they're just amazing for me. So thank you, Alan.
All right, cool. Good job. And so you end up getting a new vehicle, right?
Yes.
So you said you wanted one like the one in the picture. Well, which one did you get?
I got the one just like in the picture because my dad he bought one.
Oh, you got the one that's in the picture, actually, is
Yeah.
the one that you got.
Yes.
Wow. All right. So be careful what you put in your pictures. I mean, not that, I mean, I think she really likes the one she got, but be careful about what you put in your pictures because, um, you know, it's not this stuff is like well-researched science. It's not a question of, well, I wonder if that would work. It works. It works for everybody, every time, right? It's like, it just depends on, are you consistently focusing on where you want to go versus whatever else is going on versus what people would like you to focus on, right?
Even,
So,
yeah, but Alan, even that, and you're right. And to, you have to pay attention to what you focus on. Because if you focus on what you don't want, that's exactly what you're going to get. Speaking from experience, I have like, you have to pay attention of what you do want. And then if it's in a situation that you don't like right now, you pick it the opposite of it and visualize it. So if you have an empty bank account, when you open up your checkbook, you visualize that to whatever. Like and I didn't mean to interrupt you, Alan, but whatever you think about, you bring about. If you think you can, you're right. But if you think you can't, you're right. It's and it same goes with all of this. And I didn't even talk about when we did Loop. When they started that one contest or whatever, I was going to be in the top 3. You have to do the work. You can't just sit and look at the pictures, but you have to do the work. And I like visualize myself going up on that stage at top 3, but I also busted my rump shaker too to get there. So, and I thank God every day for putting me in the top 3, and it was up to him whether I got it or not. But it's like the story of the 2 farmers that were praying for rain. One went out and fitted the fields. What one did God listen to and bless? The one that took the action. And we have to do the same thing here.
excellent. I see your hand, Chili. And 1 second, but yeah, go ahead and unmute yourself. Yeah, there's the difference is here between this because we have a vehicle that works. That's I mean, and I think Shelley was actually talking about this the other day. It's like the difference between visualizing here and visualizing with a vehicle that has 3 flat tires and misfires all the time, which is your traditional network marketing business, definitely your traditional wellness company. It's like it's a night and day difference when you're visualizing a goal that you can win at because there's nothing required in CMG Collect Direct that requires specialized personality or something like that. The tasks that we're doing, when you see the numbers on the board tonight, the tasks that we're doing, you could have done this week.
True, but and we all could we can all do that, but the difference between working with Dale and these books, these visualization books, is he gives us the roadmap, like the roadmap. And as we go over the next few weeks, we're all going to understand a little bit more clearer and have the more confidence. But what we do start with is our why. Because if we don't know our why, we're not going to get anywhere at all. And so it all starts with this, and it is in the back office.
Excellent. Shelley.
So let's talk about the science behind this for a second. Our subconscious, this is well researched, and this is science. So our subconscious minds cannot tell the difference between what is true and what isn't true. So whatever your subconscious mind hears the most is what it believes, and it has to make it come true. That's science. So I
would like you on the screen. I don't know, can people see her at all? I don't know how that works, but can you fix that, Alan?
I think
Please.
she is on the screen when she's talking.
Okay. And so whatever you're thinking about the most, whatever you're telling your mind the most is what comes about. Kamala inspired me, and I made a book. Now my book is small. It's 4x6. I just did a 4x6 so I can put it in my purse, take it in my car. And it's just easier to handle. But I was telling these guys, was it last week, the other day? So the pictures I have in my book are of my whys, my 20 reasons, my top 3 reasons. And as I was looking for the pictures, and as I having to get specific, it actually became more real to me than just even writing it down on a piece of paper. Because now I have these pictures that I'm looking at, and that I had to, I don't know how to explain this. I had to really get specific in what I really wanted. For example, one of my whys, some of you know my daughter wants to be on Broadway. One of my whys is to have an apartment in New York City. I started researching. I did the research. I found the building. I found the exact apartment that I'm going to buy someday. And that's what has made it really real to me, more so than just writing it down on a piece of paper.
Brilliant.
So I just, what?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I wanted to share that because it really does work. There's a story about vision boards. I mean, that's what this is. It's a vision board that you carry with you. But there's a story about a guy who was moving and was in his closet and pulled out this old vision board that he had had years ago. And when he looked at it, he realized that the house that he was moving into was the exact house he had on his board. I mean, and I know that sounds weird, but it's how it works. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what is real and what isn't. What you tell it the most is what it believes. So that's all I wanted to say.
All right. And excellent, Shelley. And so the creation process is uniform. Okay. The creation process, anything that is created was visualized by somebody for a long time before it was created. Usually a long time, sometimes maybe a short time. But the idea, nothing like this chair that I'm sitting on was visualized by somebody, or it wouldn't be here right now. That's the only way things are created. So we're just applying what any architect does, what anybody who's designing anything does. We're just designing our life. But all of those guys, if you're like, oh, did that house just randomly appear? No, of course not. That's stupid. It's like houses don't randomly appear. It's like, well, I don't know. We just decided we were going to build us a house. And, pretty soon we got some windows and some doors and and then it's like, there it was. That's never happened. I mean, it might have happened, but I promise you, you don't want to live in that house. You know what
Yeah,
I
it's
mean?
just
It's
like, yes, it's just like Alan, it's just like what is it? If you plan to fail, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So, and the one of them that know this and has been around like Shelley has is Tony Shute. And Tony, if you can like say something about it as far as your experience on it, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Cam. I mean, awesome, honey. I mean, that book, I saw it in Sioux Falls. I mean, my gracious sakes. I mean, you definitely put forth the effort in everything you've done. And I mean, we all, I guess I can say this. I mean, if you continue doing what you're doing today, you're going to continue to get what you've always got. And there has to come a decision making point in each of our lives, right? When we decide we're going to change, because we possibly didn't like the person we were. And I'd kind of came to that point in my life, like you, Cam, where I had to change who I was. I almost died. And, when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. And he appeared. And, I started hearing the things you heard, the points and the truths, the wisdom, the ages, stuff that, I never really heard before. But, and I think like you, the programming your mind for success, I mean, a lot of people that hadn't been through it on here and you're just hearing that. I mean, oh my gosh, guys, it's so powerful. And it puts you in a different place. She was talking about the scrolls. You're completely cleaning out the junk in your head. And the scrolls really are the first time I think that I realized how the subconscious mind really worked. When things were coming out of my mouth and I was reacting to things every day because of the scrolls and things that I was reading in the morning and the afternoon and it loud at night. And I think it's really powerful for everybody to write down their perfect day. What's your perfect day look like? And I think it's powerful to read it out loud and record it. Because I think it means a lot when you can listen to your own voice say that. Not just read it, when you can hear your own voice say it. One of the things I like to do when I'm going to talk is I like to talk and record it and listen to it before I actually say it, because I can hear what I sound like. But when you actually hear yourself saying these things, that these goals, these things, if you put forth and put on paper and put on goal boards, and you actually start hearing yourself saying that, it becomes real in your mind, like Shelley said. Your subconscious can't tell whether it's true or not, and it becomes a true vision. You can visualize, you'll have dreams about it. You'll see it. And I mean, it's life-changing. I can tell you that out of any of these businesses, collect direct, the personal development is the number one thing. The number one thing that you're going to get out of this. And I can tell you, if you're coming in here and all you're doing is chasing the dollar, man, you got to work on yourself first. And you really need to get what she's talking about. This could be one of the most important Zooms that a lot of you listen to and are part of tonight. Because if you get this right, everything else is going to follow.
Yeah. And Tony, when you were talking about that, I had a affirmation or a visualization before, and I've changed it a little bit up since then. And I was talking, it was, I don't know, a couple years ago, and I was telling Tom Terabasso, and I was telling him I was going up on stage, and I wore my black cowboy boots and my blue jeans and a white shirt with a red jacket. I didn't even realize it. But when I got that Eagle Award, that's exactly what I was wearing. This is how powerful this stuff is.
Oh my gosh. And
Or-
when I when I first started with Dale, I was absolutely petrified of being in front of a group of people. I could not speak in front of people. I would freeze. In my college graduation, I actually I just froze and quit talking completely. And I started crying and made it look like I was emotional. And I knew that that was something I was scared of. So what I did every single week when I got involved with Dale, I got in front of the room and I gave a testimony. I got in front of the room and I gave a testimony. I got in front of the room and I gave a testimony. And anybody out there, if you're scared of something, if something scares you, that's something you need to be doing. You know, that's something you need to be doing. I think one of the most powerful things Dale used to say was when Dale Calvert was scared to death of the telephone. He was scared of the telephone. Dale Calvert was scared of the telephone when he first started. And he wrote a little note and stuck on the phone and says, oh my gracious, please don't let me forget this. It says, oh my gosh, I cannot remember, Dale. I'm so sorry if you listen to this.
I love using the telephone. The
Yeah,
telephone is
yeah, no,
not
it
foreign
said,
to me.
it says, yeah,
Is that
no,
how it
it
goes,
said,
Billy?
Yeah,
no,
if there's little to lose by trying and a great deal to gain if successful, do it now.
by all
By
means,
all
try
means,
do it now.
try, do it
He'd
now.
read it, he'd pick the phone up, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, you hear all this stuff and people think it's just common. You know, somebody says, well, get out of your comfort zone, get out of your comfort zone. That's what it's about. If you're in your comfort zone, if that's what you're striving to be comfortable, then you're never going to grow. You got to make yourself uncomfortable to do this business. You got to figure out what bothers you. Because if other people are doing it and it bothers you, you're missing out. That's what you need to be doing. You need to do it over and over and over and over until it becomes comfortable. It just becomes part of you.
All right. Thank you, Tony. Great job. Cam, I want you to read, please, a part of your perfect day. So that we can get, because a lot of these people have never heard it. So yeah, it's gonna be good times right now.
Just part of it?
Well, you know, take it as far as you can go.
It was
But I
October.
want you guys to get, so the point of having you listen to this, I want you to see how you need to put yourself into the future that you want to have happen. You got to put yourself there. It has to be as real for you as today was. Does that make sense? It has to be as real for you. Your future has to be as real for you as brushing your teeth was today, hopefully, if you did. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what you need to, that's how you need to have it. So go, Cam.
Well, I wanted to tell you a little story. It was in October of 2025, and Dale held held his conference at Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky, and I had like the honor and privilege that my family was able to go with me, and I paid for the whole trip. And we stayed at the Hyatt Regency, and each one of the families I put in an executive suite. It was phenomenal. And we were there a day early. And the morning of conference, I woke up, bright and early, and I thank God for everything that we were able to accomplish through this whole thing. And I met my family down for breakfast before conference, and they were telling me all the things that they were going to do, because the kids were all excited about going and seeing the horse farms and everything. And then the team, we met in the foyer getting ready to go to Rupp Arena, and we were waiting for the limos to arrive, and we were like so excited. We were pumped. It was like we were on top of the world. The limos showed up and we all climbed in, and Gordy was singing his country music, and Kamisha was there and she was singing her songs, and it was just absolutely phenomenal. We went around the corner until when we seen Rupp there, and you know, the big neon signs, our names were flashing across it, and the limo went silent. You could see the tears and the grasp of breath, just knowing our names were up there as they were going, each one of them across that big neon sign. And Gordy broke the silence with his witty words, and then everybody roared. But we arrived there because we had to go early and to meet Dawn, because she had specific things for us to do to help with getting all these people in. There was over 10,000 people there. And a group of us, Alan and Shelly and Dave, we all went down to the front and saw our names on the little cards on the table at the front, in front of the stage. But with all the lights and the music, the legendary song, I don't know if you've all heard that, but it was playing and the lights were going and it was just rocking in there. And we all took our places. Dawn had things for us to do. We were getting the people in there, and you know, I was thinking right then, I remember when I was them, you know, and I was waiting to hear from the people. And now I'm the people that one of the people that they listen to. So everybody got settled in, and it was just amazing. The millionaires sat at the front tables and stuff, and I had the honor and privilege to introduce Dale and Dawn to the stage. Like it was the moment I have been waiting for so long, for everything that he has done for me. He has changed my life so much. The only way I thought to repay him in any way was to let the people know like who Dale and Dawn were when they were coming up on stage. And I did. It was just so amazing. And as the day went through, like each and every one of the Founders Club, we had a Founders Club, we had the Millionaires Club, they all spoke. Like Philip got up there. There was just so many people talking and telling their stories, and how we laughed and we cried, and it flew by, but yet it was just a great time. You could feel the excitement in that whole building. And as Dale and Dawn, when they were finishing up, they like, Dale held her hand and raised it to God and let the dream continue. And he walked off the stage. It was like so phenomenal that it will never be forgotten. It's going to be just the beginning of what we can do to take his dream and move forward. It was just phenomenal.
Awesome. Okay. So you might think that's dumb, or you wouldn't want to ever do that. I don't care whatever your day is. Maybe it has nothing to do with Rupp. Maybe it doesn't even have anything to do with this business, honestly. It doesn't really matter. Whatever, if you don't have something that you're going for, what are we doing? Like, are we just trying to get through the day so we can safely like crash on our nice beds at night right over here to my left? It's like, is that what we're doing? It's like, you need to like, for yourself, decide what my day isn't Rupp Arena. It's part of it, but my day is 2 weeks after Rupp, when everybody comes over to the house for a evening of just relaxing and having fun. And we all are basking in that glow of what had just happened. And I'm surrounded by proven, countable, trustworthy leaders who fought together and won. That's my dream. But yours might be something with your family. It might be something with your church. I don't care, whatever it is for you. But man, it's your life. Somebody said today something. It's like, you know what? You can do whatever you want with your life, but you only get to do it once. You only get to do it once. So are we being intentional about where we're going? Or is life just happening to us, one crisis at a time, one dog barking at a time, one like whatever at a time? That's not this team. That's not how we play. Just for the record. All right, I want to hear from a few more of you. Also, I'm going to undo this if I can. I don't know how to unpin it. Philip, can you unpin it? But anyway,
Mike
so,
should be able to.
Can, or do I need to? There you go. And then I'm going to change the view to gallery. So we're open. I do want to hear from a couple more ninjas before we just open it up to everybody. Philip, I see your hands up, so go for it.
Yes, first of all, I think this is one of our best Zooms ever. Like this Zoom needs to be there and are preparing to launch. Kamala did amazing. It's probably one of my first or second times ever knowing someone prior to them achieving their goals and seeing them achieve it. The last month, guys, she didn't have that van. A couple months ago, she didn't have that eagle behind her. You know, several months ago, she couldn't say she was a six-figure earner. And a lot of us here knew her all prior to this, and we've seen it, you know, and it's really firing me up. I mean, yeah, to be on this team, you wrote your top 20 and in the top 3, but I didn't do what Kamala did. I didn't print it out. I'm not reading them every day. I will now, that's for sure. So I just want to say that. Oh, I wanted to go back to about Dale being afraid of the phone. Dale has a training, I think it's like 20 years ago, maybe longer than that. He teaches how to get over the fear of the phone. But that was like 30 years ago. And if you don't know Dale's story, he retired for a long time. And it was just, what was it, earlier this year or last year, when he started to get back into it in cold calling, he was scared. He wasn't scared 30 years ago. My point is, once you stop and you're not in the consistent groove of doing this, the fear is going to come back. So you got to get in the groove to get out of the rut and stay in the groove as long as you can. Run when you can run.
Philip, get in the groove. I mean, is that a disco term or what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's our slang. So just doing the work daily. So whether you're going to, you know, for Collect Directory, whether you're going to events every month, you're messaging 50 people, 100 people, 1,000 people a week, but you're doing it consistently, doing what you can do. Some people are working 2 jobs. Some people have 6 kids. You know, if you only could do 5 messages a day, but you do it every day, that's what you got to do. That's it.
Excellent. All right.
It's
Great.
getting into a rhythm. Getting into a rhythm. That's what Dale says, Philip.
Exactly. So yes, because this needs to become routine. Like Fridays, we put out our bandit signs. That's what we do on Fridays. If you're wondering what your teammates are doing on Fridays, they're putting out bandit signs. That's what we do. It's like, what do we do late Sunday night? Guess what? We pick up bandit signs. It's like, it's just like any profession has routines. Any profession has routines. Guess what? We're professionals. We have routines. We have consistent things that are money-making activities that we are doing. And we figured out a pattern. It takes a little time to get into this groove that Philip was talking about, of getting a consistent, like, where you don't have to go, what do I do? Let me check my calendar for what I do on Friday afternoon. Let me go. No, what we do on Fridays is we put out bandit signs, if that's what you're doing, right? Or we go and we go to the card show on Saturdays, or whatever, or we do like safe list outreach. I don't care what your things are that you're doing, but you need to do enough things in order to sponsor 5 people a month, or 5 people or customers a month. So they can be a combination of customers and people. And really, with what we're doing with this, it's ridiculous to not, and I don't mean a month, I mean a week. Well, actually, I do mean a month, but it's ridiculous that you would only get 5 customers a month with Collect Direct. That's just pathetic. I mean, I'm sorry. It's awesome if it's your first time doing it, but don't let that be your consistent behavior, okay? Because there's so many customers that we can get. It's just a matter of, are you doing the activities that get them? It's like, or are we overstudying diagrams, or I don't know what? Are we labeling our flyers or something like that? We have to be out there being active. So, all right, let me just take a quick look at the screen. All right,
Plan your work and then work your plan.
great. We have a couple of hands up. Let's do that. Dave Trilogy.
Yeah, well, I just want to say outstanding job. And, I'm sure everybody's realized at this point already that Dale's here. We've been listening to him for the last almost hour and through us. And it's just a powerful union of all of us working together to help each other get as far as we can. And the Eagles have spoken, so to speak. And that's all. I just wanted to compliment everybody on tonight's Zoom. It's just fabulous. Great job, everybody.
Jan and Al.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that Ginny Reynolds and Al and I had the opportunity of going and seeing Don Carson on Sunday, this past Sunday. And I really learned something that I want to share with everyone, because I had all these business cards, and I've been doing that. I've been texting people, getting them to watch the video, all these business cards. And there were a couple of them that I saw that I knew that people were, I'll just put it this way, really, really old. And I just looked at that and I said to myself, nah, they're too old. Just don't give them the opportunity. Ask me why I would say that. That's not cool, but that's what I was thinking. So we go to this meeting on Sunday, right? A man comes up, they invite him up in the area to speak. He was 84 years old and he was blind. He is so excited about this business. It's unbelievable. His reason why? Because what he was going to earn from Collect Direct, he was going to give to his grandchildren. I'll tell you, I really had an attitude adjustment after listening to him. And Ginny actually got to speak to someone who had the same purpose of getting involved with Collect Direct so he could help his grandchildren. Then on the other spectrum, a young guy gets up. What was he, about 19, 20 years old maybe? He's talking about the downline he's building. I'm like, oh my gosh. So it really helped me to not prejudge anyone. And that's what I wanted to say.
Awesome. Thank you, John. Dave Buchanan, we're going to open it up if anybody has more questions, but I want to kind of put a parentheses around this with Dave, because I respect him and because I trust him and because we all trust him. And when Dave Buchanan talks, people listen on this team. So what is it about him? Why do we listen? We listen because he's brilliant, for one thing. But we also listen because he's literally, in my opinion, and I could be wrong here, the most consistent groove participator that we have on the team. Nobody's been as just day in, day out, do the work, I mean, and tell me if I'm wrong, Dave, but you probably have had a couple of things happen in your life over the last couple of years that could have like gotten you off track, but you've just been consistent even through the life's ups and downs. And so I'd love to hear from you and your thoughts on what Kamala said and kind of how that fits into what's happened for you. He's also a $100,000 earner, just for the record.
Kamala, amazing.
Yeah, it's
Out of the park.
I talk to David every morning. Every morning. If it's 9 o'clock and I haven't called him at 9:01, he's calling me. Steady Dave. You're amazing.
Well, and you are too, and just a perfect example. A simple statement, and I heard this years ago. The corny stuff works. All that she's done, all the mental preparation, all the personal development, the visualization, we've all heard it. But who has done it? The corny stuff works. Vision boards. Shelley talks about. Do you guys understand? Or probably most of you don't realize. Shelley Giddings studied self-talk, courses in self-talk. I don't know if it's a degree, Shelley. I don't know what you call it.
Certified. No, she's certified.
Certified.
In the self-talk program.
So guys, we've got people on this team who are very valuable. And again, I don't know everybody's background, but I'll tell you this as well. Go find Tony Shoup's story on the MLM podcast. I don't know what number it is. You can search it. Go find that man's story. Phenomenal. You go find his story. I'm telling you. You listen to his story.
Bring tissues with you when you do.
And you don't, and you think you got a problem? Or you think you've been through something? And we've all been through stuff. Okay? Go listen to that story. But everything that we talk about takes work. You can't wish it. You got to go do it, right? And this is not the time to slow down. People say, well, it's the holidays. Hey, this is the time to speed up and go even harder. Because how many
Uh-oh. He froze. All right, no worries. He'll find his way back. Anybody else have any questions, any comments, anything that anybody wants to share?
Yeah, I made a vision board, and I just drew a big circle and cut it up like a pie, and I put pictures on it of things that I wanted to achieve and get, and it worked for me. I achieved everything on the vision board. Now I got to make a new one.
Fantastic, Stephen. So cool. Thank you for sharing. Mike.
Really quickly, I just wanted to say how awesome that was, Kamala. Guys, I knew nothing about Kamala's book until I knew very little about it until we saw each other in Sioux Falls. She told me about it just before Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and I asked her if she would bring it, and I was able to sit down with Kamala and literally go through her book page by page by page. And my wife and I sat there in awe of what she mapped out for herself, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. And to see these things coming true and happening is so powerful. And Kamala, you did a great job explaining everything tonight. And Alan, you perfect color man. I mean, just everybody speaking just did such a great job. Here's my question, because I'm going to ask a question. We know that the top 3 and the top 20 is step number 1. When someone looks at a book like what Kamala has done, that's like eating an elephant. If we were to do it one bite at a time, Kamala, what would you recommend for all of us who don't have books yet? What would be your recommendation for the first couple of baby steps to get moving towards a full and complete book like you have?
Take your top 3. That's it. Take your top 3, and whatever it is, if you can find some sort of picture, any saying, anything that if you want to take one and write it down or put it on a sheet of paper and fold it up and put it in your back pocket so you can pull it out consistently, morning, noon, and night, just like Dale has taught us, like Jim Rohn has taught us. And start with 1. Remember the power of 1, and that's my recommendation. And then put another one. But the biggest thing is when you do your top 20, I have my top 20 in there to the best of my ability. There is some things that I haven't found pictures or whatever of, but I just start out one step at a time. Take one of your top 3s.
Yeah, and
Hope that answered your question.
yeah, and find as many ways you want to get as many senses involved in it as you can. If there's music that relates to it, get that music going. If there's, smells and tastes and different, just get as much of you seeing it with all of yourself as possible. I'm an auditory learner. I'm not a visual learner. It's like, so it sounds for me, it's like, so, but get it to where it should mess you up a little bit every time you take a look at it. If it doesn't mess you up a little bit, then you're not doing it right.
Well, Alan, it's like, where's Carlos? Carlos wanted a new vehicle, and I happened to be out in Colorado. He took a vehicle for a test drive. Go lick the seat. I don't do whatever it takes. If you want a new husband or wife, don't go up to the person and lick them before you introduce, but sorry.
Right.
But just.
Good job. Carlos, I'd love to hear what that was like for you.
I don't see him on the call. I think he had to go.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No worries. Ask him sometime if if you guys ask him what it was like to go actually. And Carlos has made a lot of money, with us. And he's like, he'll be able to drink in a couple years or something. So not that I recommend that, but anyway, this works. It's phenomenal. Any other comments before we call it for tonight? All right, guys, the corporate call has already started. So if you want to jump on that, you can jump
Alan,
on that.
I'd like to say one thing before we.
Yes, sir. Go.
Guys, make sure you're on next week. I don't care, set your alarm, put it in your schedule or whatever, because next week we're going to be talking about personal development. You do not want to miss next week. Got some, again, some more phenomenal people that are going to be speaking. But as you see, all this revolves around personal development. That's the hidden gem. So don't miss next week.
You guys have a great night. I'm glad you all were here. Happy holidays. I know we'll be on again before Christmas, but have a great rest of the week. And I can't wait to see. Here's the thing. So Dale, here's one thing before we go. Sorry. So Dale's had surgery today, right? I'd really love it as a team if we could double our completed weekly stats in the next 3 weeks. I want to see double the numbers of weekly stats. And if you're sitting there, and I could see names on here, I'm not going to say any names, but if you haven't done your weekly stat sheet because you got zeros, that's not an acceptable excuse. It's not acceptable. On this team, we play together, and you doing your stats is part of being a part of this team. Okay? You're helping the whole team when you do your stats, even if your stats are zero. So I'd like to see us double the number of people and set an alarm so that I had to do my stats last night because I came sliding in here half an hour ago from being out helping people move today. So I had to do my stats last night to make sure I got them in on time because I knew I was not going to be available to do them in the middle of the day today. But schedule and make sure that every week you're filling in your stats, and we'll have more on that as the next few weeks go out. But I'd love to show Dale, man, we not only like shored up the team as far as them all getting the right visualizing going for where they're going, but also we got their work ethic going and we got their accountability going from doing their stats. So that's my thing. Put it in. Let's show Dale how much we appreciate him by all of us doing our stats this week, okay? It's like, Dale, we can play. Even if you're down, you can count on us. We're going to be here. All right? So, all right, everybody have a great night. We'll see you soon.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Alan.
everybody.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
Thank you,
Good job.
everyone.
Thank you,
Good job,
everyone. It was
everybody.
awesome.
Good job. See you. Bye.
Thank you,
Thank
Alan.
you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.